All right, we'll go now to item number 12, and I was going to ask Dennis, is this an executive session discussion or is this an open?
It's open.
Okay. I'm going to step away for just 1 minute and then I'll be right back because I have a family thing going on, but it's very important to me. So if you guys want to go to, do you want to take a 2-minute break or you guys want to move forward on item number 14? You can handle that while I step out.
Let's go ahead and take a 2-minute break.
Okay.
Marty, come see me.
We're going to go, just make a quick change on the agenda just to go to item 13 so that our local reporter will be able to get back to the office and include this in his report. So we're going to go to award the bid for the Mountain Air Health Center expansion project, and then Valerie will go right to you, okay?
Madam Chair, Commissioners, as you guys are aware, we did have the Mountain Air Health Center expansion project, which is a 2011 CDBG funded project, out for bid. The bid deadline was Monday. We did open bids. We received 11 bids. The apparent low bidder is Aztec at $250,000, excluding gross receipts tax, and the architect has recommended that the Commission award the bid to Aztec.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the table?
I have none, Madam Chair.
Commissioner Tapia? Okay, is there a motion to award the bid?
I move that we award the bid to Aztec LMP for the Mountain Air edition.
Okay, thank you. There's a motion on the table. Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
And hire someone. And I've said, no, we are not moving forward. And just recently we found out we don't have the funds to move forward. But this is the kind of pushback that I keep having when I'm trying to run my department.
I think that's the hard thing, is because when you start the process and we put that ad in the paper, we have to follow through with that ad in the paper. So we still have to do the process of those 4 people who did take the time to put in that application and hear them. That's why we needed to go forward, because we have a process that we have to follow, whether
a job is available or not.
Well, if I'm remembering correctly, you did come before us, and we're very happy to have told us that there was money for another person. Am I mixing 2 different times that you came before us and it's not the same position?
There are 2 different ones. I have the letter from August 22nd that was presented to you by HR.
Well, if it's a budget issue and we can't do it, then we can't do it.
But don't we still have to go through that process?
I agree. And in the meeting, we did say, we agreed, if there's no money for this, this is a moot point. But Mr. Revelo wanted to come and ask the Commission what the roles were and responsibilities of our office in this process, and what her roles and responsibilities were. So I don't know. In my opinion, if there's no money for the position, then there's no reason to interview. But I don't do HR, and I'm not the Commission making that decision. But I think what she wanted was some direction from you guys as to how to deal with us.
Well, and I think it was clarified that, you know, you're being treated as a department head, as other department heads are treated. And, you know, I think that, you know, simplifying the qualifications still would not disqualify anybody that you may or may not have had in mind. So, you know, it's to me, the simplifying might have given you more choices, you know, to interview. But it still would have given you the same people that you may or may not have wanted to.
I appreciate
the manager and the HR are agents of this commission. And by all means, you have the right to stand up. I'm saying that what I'm hearing is that, you know, the process was probably, you may not have agreed, but the process is not anything that we do different with another department head.
All right, then I'll be very specific. When I provide the qualifications for a job position, as I did for the home visitors that we're getting ready to interview. What I submitted in its entirety was put into the paper. It wasn't altered in any way. What I submitted for this other position, which is kind of a moot point, I'm just saying that this is the pushback I get, was altered, and I was not given the respect of that being shown to me. The other issue I have is TCPO was put on the agenda for to go before the executive committee. Was it last week? I was not informed. I made a call on Friday to Joy, and I said, Joy, I see the TCPO's on the agenda. Do I need to be there? And she told me, no, they're just going to talk to them about and let them know that we're not going to go forward with that DB position.
Actually, that's not what I said. What I told you was, I think that it's your program, and if you want to be there, you're absolutely welcome to be. I don't think it's necessary that you be there because we need some clarification on how to move forward with the interview process, is I believe exactly what I told you.
We have a different view of that conversation.
Okay.
And I have a question regarding budget. And when we initially started this process, it was they had additional monies in their budget. We talked to her about it, asked Ms. Arevalo to talk to Tracy, let's see what's going on with your budget. And she says, okay, they don't have the money in the budget. When I spoke to Tracy Cedillo about it, she stated there wasn't any money in the budget in the first place, and that they were still needing to discuss it because she wasn't sure where the original money has come from. And moving forward, if we're going to do the home visiting interviews as well, because those will also be your appointments, I want to assure that money is there prior to us doing interviews for those as well.
The county manager has already seen the contract, so has the attorney. The money and the contracts are available to us for the home visiting. It's $100,000.
But it's not in the budget yet.
I've spoken to Tracy, and we're in the process of discussing how that will be put into the budget.
I think I have a question maybe for you, Dennis, since going back to kind of reflecting what Annette asked earlier. She asked about a quasi-department. If it's a quasi-county department, I don't understand the definition, because I have a lot of grant-funded departments in the county, and we've never considered them quasi-county departments.
Well, yeah, that's not a term that's familiar to me either. I think they're a county department, okay, just like every other county department. And I think where maybe some of the disconnect is hiring public employees is not like hiring a private employee. You don't get to hire who you want. So you've got to be objective, and you've got to go through a process. Every department head in the county has to advertise positions. The public has a right, if there's an opening, whether it's whoever it is, any member has a right to put in an application, and if they meet the qualifications, then they should be interviewed and a decision made, and those people would be evaluated. But whether it's Linda's department or Betty's department or your department, if there's an opening, it's bid the same way. And so the policy to do that hiring has been set up by HR through the manager's office and approved by the commission. It has to be done the same way every time. So from a legal perspective, we just need to be objective, and we need to make sure that every department understands that we've got to have that objectivity. You don't get to just hire who you want, and I'm not saying that was Valerie's intent, but we need to do it the same way every time. And I think, frankly, because I deal a lot with HR in this county, that we've been really consistent in doing that. And so that's something that I think the HR department's really prided itself on, is that we do maintain our objectivity. So I don't think it's a quasi-department. It is a department. These are county employees. They are governmental employees, and they have to be treated like everyone else.
So then would I be
Now, another disconnect, though, is on the job qualifications. You know, I certainly think that, you know, the department head should say, this is what I need for this person. Now, Lonnie's point is, and I think it's a good point, is, well, the HR didn't raise that bar. If anything, they lowered it. You got a broader pool, but anybody with 3 years of experience could have applied and been considered for the job. So I guess I just don't understand what that problem is. I mean, it seems to me like the bar wasn't raised to a point that you wouldn't get any applicants. I mean, frankly, it
No,
sounds
I
like
appreciate
the
what
person
you're
missed
saying.
the deadline to apply. So,
And just, I don't want to take any more of the commission's time, but I do need you to understand, this is not about me making a position for an individual. It has been construed to be that, it has been directed to be that. I've been basically told that that's what I'm doing when I've repeatedly said no. And I have all the paperwork and everything to show what it was I was trying to do. What I need to know is, when I submit qualifications, can I expect that those will be the qualifications that will show up in the newspaper? And if there is a need to alter those, would it please be, I mean, is there just the respect to show that to me before you do it?
And that was discussed in a meeting between both Mr. Ravelo and myself on several occasions, that our schedules didn't meet up. I had a huge push from her to get it in the paper. I changed it. I emailed her. I let her know the changes, and she was quite upset nor respectful in the email that I received back. So we just need direction. If they're a county department, do we follow the policies that have been in place? And I think her question is, am I able to change those things?
And if we are a county department, then would I be privy to, would I be allowed to get mileage and per diem? Because all of my budget comes from grants, so that's not available to me. So if I am a department head of a department of the county, would I be allowed to get per diem when I travel on county business, or my program business? Because I really never, that's why I say quasi, because there are some aspects of being a county employee that I'm not, allowed to have, and neither is my staff.
well, those are all policy matters. I mean, both what Annette has brought up, that's a policy question, not a legal question. Your question is a policy question, not a legal question. The policy is set by the commission.
Exactly. And that's why I'm before the commission now. I'd be happy to give my suggestions in writing to the commission if that would help. That would help with our process. I have no problem with the hiring process as it stands, other than I do think the hot seat type of interviewing is not very appropriate. I've never been interviewed like that anywhere. And I've worked in corporate, and I've also worked for nonprofits. So is that something that the commission could address while I'm standing here? Would I be allowed to have a table in front of my interviewees when they're being interviewed?
I'm not opposed to that.
I'm not opposed to it.
And every one of these decisions that you make today, we will be coming back with more when more departments decide they don't like something that is currently in place. Just like this.
That's part of
Why
the
don't you say
process.
this, that if any department head would like a table for their applicant, then we can give them a table. I mean, that's not a policy anywhere, is it? You don't give them a table?
No, but it's been procedure thus far that you're changing.
Thank you,
It
Commissioners.
seems small, but this is only one procedure that one department head is asking you to change. So now we have the commission involved in making the procedural decision on certain things.
Which is what the commission does.
Yes.
Well, let's just put them on the same agenda with all the road requests.
Sounds good.
Okay?
I'm sorry, I missed that. What do we do? Oh, if other department heads come forward, I understand. Thank you, Commissioners.